Welcome back to College Football Pregame here on CBS Sports HQ. We're taking you all the way up to those noon kickoffs with a ton of games today with so much at stake. And we have straight chaos going on in the Big 12 Conference right now. With the final week of the regular season here, 4 teams are tied atop of the Big 12 standings. 6 in total are still alive for a potential berth in the conference title game. Arizona State is one of those teams. The Sun Devils on the road today to face Arizona to keep their Big 12 championship hopes alive. We are so excited to welcome live here to College Football Pregame Arizona State head coach Kenny Dillingham, who joins us now. Coach, it is so great to see you. Thanks so much for taking the time on what we know is a very busy game day.
Yeah, sorry I lost you there a little bit, but no, it's exciting. I mean, our guys have put in a lot of work to get to this point. We have a special group of young men. We have a special group of guys who are extremely passionate about this game, extremely passionate about one another, and I'm just excited to see a group of guys come together with the hard work they put in to achieve something that nobody else thought was possible. And hopefully they're not done yet, and hopefully they go out there and play well today.
Coach, I remember talking to you when you were at Florida State, and we got to meet, and I heard your passion for the game of football. And now to hear that passion carried over to a place where you grew up, a program that you went to, you were a student there, and now you've brought this program back on the national scene and a chance for a potential playoff spot. Can you just explain to the people kind of what it means to you to be where you are in Arizona State?
Yeah, obviously I'm born and raised 15 minutes from there. I coached high school ball 15 minutes from there. I grew up in the parking lot playing catch, tailgating, going to games, watching games. I grew up watching this game every Thanksgiving weekend. This is what you did. You watched this game, the Territorial Cup. So it's definitely bigger to me than just a job. It's a job that hopefully, you don't get fired from. It's a job that hopefully you don't have to leave. Hopefully you can just be here and build something that people want to join you, and that's unique in today's landscape of college football.
Coach, we've obviously seen what you have been able to do at this program, how you guys have been so successful throughout the season, but you've done something that I really want to shed some light on. And, I was told by a wise man once by the name of Nick Saban to stop looking for a blessing all the time and choose to be a blessing to someone else. You just recently got a nice little raise, and instead of taking that on a trip and spending that on something nice, you decide to reward your bonus to some off-staff members and, give them a little holiday bonus. Talk about what that moment meant to you, what it meant to the staff to receive that bonus. Just talk about how special that was for you to do.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm a little frustrated it got out. It wasn't supposed to get out. They weren't supposed to know it was my money or my bonus. But those guys put in a lot of work. There's a lot that goes on in a football program to make it successful. And, the more successful you are, the more the head coach makes. But I wanted those guys to know that I appreciated them and that they deserve to be rewarded for the season we're having. Like I said, it wasn't supposed to get out. I still don't know how it got out, but it really doesn't matter at this point. But it's definitely something that those guys deserve, and that I was honored and privileged to be able to have the opportunity to do something like that for those guys.
After a rough year one as head coach, now your team sitting at 9-2. What do you feel like has been the difference for your football team to take that next step?
Competitive people. We recruited competitive people. People that hate to lose more than they love to win. Just people who wake up every day with a chip on their shoulder to go do something that everybody says they can't do, or do something beyond what the normal is. And that's not an accident. That is, our coaching staff, recruiting, the mindset of people that have that dog in them. And there's a lot of really talented people out there. Not everybody fits our program. I like people who bring positive energy and who love to compete. And if you have a smile on your face walking around our building when you're being recruited by us and you're competitive, you're a fit for us, because those are the 2 things we're looking for.
Coach, one of the things that's kind of frustrating me for you guys, I don't know if you're getting the respect that you deserve. Ranked 16th, you're sitting there behind a Group of 5 program like Boise State. You got a great resume. One of your losses came without your starting quarterback on the road in a game that was still close. How do you balance, getting ready? Because it's unfortunate reality that you do have to campaign and make your best case. How do you balance that with making sure you take care of business and, take care of the game tonight?
I'm all about just what you can control. Like, let's go. I can guarantee this. If we don't take care of business today, we are not going anywhere, right? So we're not going to the championship game. We're not going to the playoffs. I can guarantee that. And in life, there's not many guarantees except that. So we better go take care of our own business. And if we take care of business and do what we're supposed to do, everything that we want to achieve is still in front of us. And nobody's going to be able to take that away. And that's the way to keep our focus, is keep the main thing the main thing. And the main thing is going to win the Territorial Cup and play as good as we can play today.
Coach, we've been talking about it all morning. When it comes to the Big 12 title game, the college football playoff, there are a ton of scenarios that need to play out today in your conference in particular. What have you told your players over the past few weeks that in order to keep them focused and focus on what's in front of them instead of all the noise and scenarios?
Yeah, we've never talked about wins. We've never talked about what a good season is. We've never talked about a bowl game. We've never talked about a championship. I talk about just being the very best. We define success one way in our program: being the very best you can be all the time at whatever you're doing. That's it. And same thing this week. Be the very best all the time at whatever you're doing. And if you continue to do that, right, then expectations will raise, and the actual level of what people think is successful will raise. You could have told us week before the season 6 wins would have been a successful season. Well, you couldn't have told us that after we hit 6 wins. Then it was 7 wins. Then it was 8 wins. Now it was 9 wins. Now it's winning this game. I said success is so relative. If you get wrapped up in that, it's going to be really hard to be successful in life. Get wrapped up in the process of being the very best you can be, and you'll achieve things you never thought you could achieve. And that's really what we've been focused on.
Coach, before we let you get out of here, we're on set here with 2 former running backs, myself, James White, Super Bowl champ. So we love running backs, and we want to talk about Cam Scatterbo. We see he's been an instrumental leader on the field and off the field. We saw the speech that he gave at halftime in your win last week. How big of a role does he play in your team's success? Not only what you've done up to this point, but moving forward, winning this game, hopefully capturing a conference championship and getting into the college football playoffs.
Yeah, I think not enough people give him enough credit for changing the culture of a program, right? He's instrumental in not just, you see him make all these plays on the field. You see him break tackles. You see his contact balance, which is as good as I've ever been around. And I've been blessed to coach my last 5 really running backs have played on Sundays. And he has the best contact balance of anybody I've ever coached. But his mindset and the way he is wired and his competitive spirit has helped change this program into a team that believes we can win, who plays with physicality, who plays hard, who's competitive in everything we do. And I really, truly believe he's somebody that the fan base is going to look back on, and he's going to be one of the instrumental people that they say, man, what flipped Arizona State? What was one of the key players that turned this place into a perennial winner? And they're going to look back in 20 years and say, it was Cam.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us. We're looking forward to watching him and your entire team today. Best of luck. We appreciate you taking the time this morning.
I appreciate it. Go Devils.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck. That is Arizona State head coach Kenny Dillingham joining us live here on College Football Pregame.